Tucked away in the countryside lies the coziest cottage in all of Henford. This is Granny's cottage, the perfect wholesome home for any grandma to enjoy. Hi guys, it's Kiarko here, back with another speed build, and that is exactly what we're building today, a wholesome Granny's countryside cottage, which is quite a mouthful to say, so the title of this video is just Granny's Cottage. But basically the idea behind this video is, yes, it's a grandma's cottage that's out in what I imagine is like British countryside. So I imagine a very British old lady who lives out here, who tends to her garden, who, has her grandkids come visit. It's just a very, very nice lifestyle, I imagine. I imagine that she's, let's see, like she's kind of like retired and she's like past her career and all that, so now she's just like relaxing, spending her days, like I said, in her garden, which is out in front of her house. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, I love the exterior of this house, guys, and I love the interior of this house. Look, I've done a lot of cottages on my channel, like a lot, like probably like 30% of my content is cottages, so forgive me if you don't want to see anything more cottagey, but I just can't get over it. I love cottages, you guys. But basically this cottage I feel like is one of my best, like I feel like I really captured like this wholesome coziness. I love the aesthetic. I think it's so bright and vibrant on the outside with this beautiful garden that she has. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. If you've seen any of my other cottage videos, how does this compare? How does it stack up? I feel like it's a pretty cool one. But of course, let me know. I love hearing your guys' thoughts. Basically, our color palette here is I wanted a lot of like pops of red, especially on the outside, especially with this cute little red car I gave her. I imagine that she drives this little, I don't know if it's a buggy, but that's what I imagine that's the car is closest to in my mind. She drives this little buggy around town and she like goes, picks up her groceries in there. She's like the iconic like red buggy lady in her town is what I imagine. I do imagine that she was quite successful in her career. Like, she probably was like super rich, which is why she can afford this really like adorable like cottage out in the countryside. But I like to imagine maybe she was like a writer. That's kind of the vibe that I got from this place, that she used to be a writer, and that she wrote a bunch of like famous books and she's like super successful, and then one day she just decided to retire, and then she lives out here and she still writes, I think, from time to time. Like, I give her a desk and all that stuff. But I don't think she's like as serious about writing anymore. It's more like a pastime now, more like a hobby. Like, she'll write about, her day in the countryside, like the beautiful birds that she saw, or like accidentally crashing her red buggy into a pole. I don't know, some interesting cute little short story she'll write about her time living in the countryside here. And of course, like I said, she will have her grandkids coming up and visit all the time, I imagine, because that's just the idea of a granny, right? She's this wholesome little granny who loves, stuffing her grandkids full of food. That's like iconic granny behavior, isn't it? Like, grandma's like stuffing their kids full of food, or their grandkids full of food, and then kids are always like, oh, I'm so full, when they leave their grandma's house. I don't know why that's such like a cultural like phenomenon of grandmas like feeding people, but it just is. It's an interesting one. Anyways, so it is Sunday, which is, when I always post, of course it's Sunday, but, I've had quite a week, and I'm gonna have quite a week coming up. I've been incredibly busy with figuring out like final projects and all that stuff, so I apologize if I sound tired. It's just because that I am. But you know what I'm doing today? I'm gonna go see the new Batman movie. Yes, I am. So that's gonna be my nice 3-hour break from all the rest of my work. And yes, you heard me right, it's 3 hours long. I think it's like maybe 2 hours 50 minutes. It's a very long movie. So I don't know if I'm excited about that runtime or if I'm a little bit hesitant about the runtime, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm not a huge superhero person. I go and see all the movies just because I feel like it's I don't know, they're interesting. I'm just not like super like invested in my brain in them, but like they're fun to see. Like, I saw the new Spider-Man, all that stuff. But Batman, I don't know if I've seen all the Batman movies. I feel like I have, like the Dark Knight Rises ones. I don't know. I do not know. If any of you guys are Batman fans, please let me know what you think of this new movie. I'm curious. I'm not really in the fandom, so I don't really know like what the reaction is to the new Batman. It's Robert Pattinson, so that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm a fan of his, and it's Zoe Kravitz, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited. But of course, talking about Batman while you're also building a grandma's cottage is kind of very weird. Very different vibes going on. So let's get back to the build, and I will stop talking about my weekend plans. Anyway, so as you guys can see, we are starting to set up this garden. I was like doing this thing with rocks in the beginning, but I actually ended up scrapping this because I thought the rocks looked a little weird. So we scrapped those rocks, but we do keep this like nice paved path in the the front yard. And then we give her, like I said, a little garden area, because I imagine that gardening is like one of her favorite pastimes that she does. Because like I said, she's retired, she's living out here, she's got a lot of free time. I imagine she gardens in the morning when she wakes up, and then she, gardens. I don't know anything about gardening. I also don't know anything about the British countryside at all, so if this house doesn't look anything like a British countryside cottage, I apologize. I've never been there or seen that, or am British myself, so there may be a lot of misconceptions in this build, but, it's like a alternate universe, Granny's Cottage. It's the Kiarko multi-universe, whatever it's called. Is that what's called? Multi-universe? The multiverse. Yeah, it's the Kiarko multiverse. That's what we'll call it. Where I just build like historically inaccurate and culturally inaccurate builds. That's my thing. Okay. So anyways, as you can see, I have basically this whole like palette of objects on the left. I do this when I build sometimes. I just find it easier to like curate an aesthetic if I have like all the things I'm gonna use like laid out in front of me. Because otherwise I just have to like improv like off the build menu, and that's kind of hard to do, I do improv all my builds, so I don't tend to plan them out unless they're like super large, but in general I'm just kind of going with the flow of things, just kind of vibing, which I think tends to work. I really like this cottage. I really like how it turns out, and it actually turned out to be a pretty good size on the inside, which is surprising considering I usually have trouble with cottage sizes in the past. I've like shot myself in the foot by like building like the cutest little cottage on the outside, and then you get to the inside and there's like no space at all. So on this one I was lucky enough to not do that to myself, and it's actually quite lovely on the inside. That being said, you guys, there's not actually a lot of room on the inside for like grandkids to come and stay and visit. There's only one bedroom, and it's the granny's bedroom. They could sleep in the living room or something like that. I did want to tell you guys, like, I like this build so much, I might actually be using it for a personal like gameplay that I want to play. The story being, of course, like an old granny lives out here, and for my personal gameplay, I was imagining like having her, like someone leave a baby on her doorstep, or like maybe, this is so morbid, I always play like morbid dramatic games, or maybe like her child dies and she has to like take care of the grandkid. Now she's like raising this child out in like this cottage in the middle of nowhere. I always thought that'd be an interesting storyline, so I might actually play that with this cottage just in my free time, which I don't have a lot of, so I don't know if that's actually gonna happen, but it might. I don't know. I always love playing like stories where someone dies, or there's like cheating or divorce or something really dramatic or something fun, because I mean, it's The Sims, you guys. Like, what's the point of playing it if you're not gonna go to the extremes of life? I feel like it's pretty fun. But let me know what kind of gameplay you guys play, or if you have any gameplay suggestions for me, because sometimes I'm so discouraged from playing just because I can't think of like good plot lines to play out. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Legacies are always really fun to do, though I tend to abandon them pretty quickly. I don't have like the patience to stick with legacies for a very, very long time. I know some people have legacies that they've been playing for like years, which is crazy to me. That's so much effort, so much commitment. I'm jealous. I wish I could do it. If you're one of those people, please let me know, because I would love to know how you do that. But I also kind of wish that the Sims team kind of like updated the family tree menu and made it a much more expansive. I mentioned this in the past, and I'm going to mention it again because I'm not over it, because they haven't done it yet. But I would really, really like them to expand the the family tree menu to like include like further family ties, like uncles or distant cousins, or like something like that, so that we just feel like we have more fleshed out family trees, because I feel like that's pretty important, especially if you're playing for legacies. But like, there's a million things that people want fixed about this game, so I feel like that's probably pretty low on the totem pole of needs for The Sims. But yeah, the new wedding pack has been out for a while. I have not actually played with it yet, because I've been very busy with my my life, my work. I've been insanely busy. I don't know what else to say. I've just been super, super busy. But I heard that there's apparently a lot of like glitches and problems with the pack, and I don't know anything about that. I haven't really done any research about that, but I've heard that people are not very happy with the new wedding pack, which surprised me, because when I was playing I didn't have that. Well, okay, I did experience a few glitches now that I'm thinking about it, so maybe I should keep my mouth quiet on this one, but I'm curious to see what the problem with it has been, or like what people's reaction to it is. But I mean, regardless, I feel like the Sims team does need to step up its game with a lot of different things, so I don't know. I feel like any wake-up call is probably a good one for them. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of the drama. Or I don't even know if we should call it drama, because it's not really like a personal thing. It's more just like coding and gameplay, I guess. But again, let me know what you guys think. Anyway, so now we are putting out the wildflowers, because I really wanted her to have like a whole section of like wildflowers around her house. Mainly because I really like the idea. I gave her like a little flower cutting table, so I like the idea of her like putting together flower arrangements and bouquets and stuff like that, that she would like put around her house. And also that maybe she would like sell in like local like farmers markets or something like that, like little like wildflower bouquets or things that she grows in her garden. Because you know, she's just the perfect freaking grandma alive, that she sells like these cute little, she drives a little red buggy around, she sells flowers, she's amazing. I love this little British old lady. And that's why I want to play her, I think, in a gameplay, just because I'm just like digging the vibe here. It's so relaxing, so loving and wholesome. I want to play it. I think I will. I think I might. We'll see. Anyways, now we're moving on to the inside of this build. Like I said, it's just a 1-bedroom house, but we actually got quite a lot of room, like, compared to my previous builds. But basically 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. We have a big old living room / dining room area, and then we're gonna have a kitchen tucked away in the corner. The kitchen is pretty important because, like I said, when her grandkids come over to her house, she is gonna be stuffing them with food a lot. So I really wanted to make the kitchen a very, you know how people say like the kitchen is like the heart of the home, where it's like there's so much importance in it, like there's so much interaction, there's so like eating and food is so, you know what I'm saying, like it's just like a really important part of the home. So here in this home, I wanted the kitchen to feel like this like fireplace, like this hearth of life and warmth where people would gather and eat, and it would just be like this cozy place for that to happen. So I think the kitchen is actually the first thing we go in and put furniture in, if I'm not incorrect, which I often am, so we'll see. But we'll go in and do the kitchen in a second. First, I wanted to figure out this fireplace situation because I did not like how this chimney was sticking in, but if I pulled it out, it would like look really weird from the outside, so I had to leave it. And so basically what I end up doing is blocking this chimney with some brick, with like a brick facade on the inside. And that is a piece of custom content. By the way, this build does include custom content, if you haven't noticed by now. I try not to use too much because I've been trying to make my builds more accessible to you guys and not like overwhelmingly custom content full, you know, so I tried to balance that. So when you go to download this build, if you're interested, it's going to be on Patreon. It's going to be released a week. It's going to be released for early access Patreons for a week, and then it'll be out in public next week. But if you're gonna go download this, it'll also have all the custom content linked for you guys to download and check out. So just so you guys know, that's how I put this together. But as you can see, we have some beautiful custom content here. Look at that rug, that beautiful rug. Look at the wallpaper on the left, that beautiful red flower wallpaper. Oh my god, this cottage just came together with the custom content, you guys. Like, these custom content creators, they read my mind. They know exactly what I'm looking for. Like, I literally downloaded this rug and that wallpaper, like, right before I built this. And I didn't even know I was gonna build a cottage. It just kind of happened. So, you know, it's fate, you know? These custom content creators, they're these angels from heaven that have been sent down to give me the perfect custom content. That's the truth. Anyways, as you can see, we're decorating this bookshelf. We have this dining table kind of pushed into the corner near the only window in the room. And then we have this bookshelf with what I imagine are like cookbooks across the top, and then just like little pieces of not furniture, what's the word? Kitchenware, I guess. We tuck a broom into the corner, just little details here and there. We end up slapping this painting on the wall, and then I went in with the tool mod, and I was just trying to adjust it and like push it further back into the wall because the frame was sticking out so much it was bothering me, but this was kind of fruitless. It didn't really work, and I wasn't really digging how it was looking. So we just end up leaving it like the way it is, even though it's sticking out. It's okay. I'm too picky sometimes, you guys. If you haven't noticed, I'm super uptight about certain things in my gameplays and in the way I design things, especially with color palette, as I always mention. But even with little things like furniture placement and stuff like that, like I don't know what it is about my brain. I just like, I'm so particular. Like sometimes I wish I wasn't so particular because I feel like I waste time sometimes, like placing the box like exactly where I need the box placed. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think if I'm a little bit too crazy about this stuff. I don't know. Anyways, as you can see, here's our kitchen part of the kitchen. We have these beautiful red cabinets or counters, and then we have these painted cabinets with these flowers on them. So beautiful. You could tell, I think at this point, that our theme is kind of florals. We're rocking with a lot of florals in this house. There's florals in every single room because she's a flower lady. She loves flowers. She loves, you know what? Now that I think about her like being a writer, you know, in her career, I imagine maybe she was like a poet or something and she wrote like poems about nature and the outdoors and stuff like that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What are you like vibing from this old lady? What is her thing? I don't know. And then this is the side door that leads out to the back, so you could like, she could go out back and, I don't know, like frolic in the forest. I don't know. There's no like, I didn't really build in a backyard. I just kind of imagine it's like a exit to like the outside world. So that's what that door is. And we are almost done with the kitchen here. As you can see, very wholesome, very like warm, glowy vibes. Definitely a kitchen that I would love to eat in, even right now, because I'm actually pretty hungry right now. So after this video, I'm probably gonna go eat some food. So that kitchen just reminded me of that. Anyway, so now we're gonna move on to the living room where we have this beautiful rug. It's very like old, like vintage looking, which is kind of what I was going for, like a mix of like vintage and a little bit more updated, because I didn't want her to be like a granny so stuck in the past that she just had like super old stuff, you know? Like I wanted her to have old stuff, but like tasteful old stuff, like stuff that she like curated over the years, you know, from vintage stores and stuff like that. Not like stuff that she like just was stuck with for like 80 years. I don't know, just really cool stuff. So she has this really cool like retro TV, which is actually only decor, so it doesn't actually work. But that's kind of like okay, because I didn't imagine that she's like a TV watching granny. I imagine that she's more like a reading granny or like a bird watching kind of granny, which I don't think is a feature in the game, bird watching, but that'd be pretty cool. But she's not really TV granny, so I imagine this TV is just for like special occasions, or if, you know, maybe it's just a decor piece to her as well. I don't know. Anyway, so we have her coffee table in the middle here. Originally, I actually, I don't know if I do this yet. Yeah, so originally I stuck on a puzzle on here, which you can see me doing now. It's a pretty cool custom content piece. I just wasn't really digging the puzzle thing, just like aesthetically for this room. I also kind of didn't like the idea of there like constantly being this half-finished puzzle on her table, you know? So we do end up scrapping that puzzle, which I apologize if you were in love with a puzzle, but I was not in love with the puzzle. I'm sorry, I had to scrap it. So we do end up putting in, I believe, some flowers, which I think is much more true to her aesthetic and her character. So we have these beautiful red tulips in the center of the room. And then in the corner here, I really wanted some sort of like upright piano, but I didn't have one. I used to have one, like a piece of custom content. It was a beautiful piano, but then I experienced an unfortunate like computer wipe. It was really frustrating. I lost a lot of custom content, so I no longer have that upright piano, unfortunately. I will try to find it again in the future. So instead, I just stuck in a dresser on the side here with a mirror. Very simple, still chic, looks great. And then we're gonna put in, I don't remember, something. We're gonna put in something, you guys. I don't know. Some candles. That's lovely. Some candles. And then we're gonna put in another painting on the wall here. And then I think we're almost done with the living room. I love this wallpaper, you guys. I can't get over this wallpaper. For some reason, it reminds me of Frozen. Like, I know that's such a weird reference, but it reminds me of like the Arendelle like flower patterns that were like all throughout that movie. You know, like that kind of aesthetic, you know what I'm talking about? Like in the palace, they had these like beautiful like floral wallpapers. I don't know why I remember it so clearly. I think just because the design just stuck out to me. So these, I mean, unintentionally a Frozen reference in this wallpaper. As you can see, we have a suitcase by the door because I did like to imagine that she actually travels quite a lot, you know, to visit her grandkids or to maybe fly out, do some like book tours like later on in life, or I don't know, anything at all. I did imagine that she likes to travel, so I gave her a nice little suitcase there. And then I think, do we put a plant here? I don't think we put a plant here. I wasn't really feeling a lot of indoor plants. Like I was mainly feeling like florals for her, so we just put a lot of like bouquets and stuff, not a lot of actual house plants. Anyway, so now we're gonna move on to her bedroom, and then we have her bathroom, and then we're done with this build. So we have this beautiful carpet. I love this carpet. I love the fringe. I think it's so stunning. And then we're gonna put in this bedding, which is, no. Which bedding? I don't remember you guys. This bedding. No. It's like this one. The one with the floral quilt. Absolutely beautiful. This is from like a Harry Potter themed pack, but the bed, oh my god, it's stunning with the, I love it. I would love this quilt in real life, to be honest. Like I would just adore having that. And then we're gonna tuck in a little reading nook in the corner here so she has a place to curl up with her books, read by the window, you know, just kind of chill out. You know, now that I think about it, I imagine that she might have like a cat or something, just like some company to keep her out here in the middle of the wilderness. Or maybe, you know, it'd be sweet if she had like a love story, like maybe she has like a neighbor who's like a farmer or something, and they like bring her like fresh food. Oh, that'd be so sweet. I don't know. I'm just like imagining all these different storylines for this granny because I'm so in love with her character and the premise and just all the possibilities. And of course I had to give her some yarn and knitting needles because she's got to knit, you guys. Like she's a granny, like she has to do it. So she's got that there. She has this like typewriter-esque computer thing so that she can like, I didn't want to give her like a modern computer, so I gave her something that looked a little bit older just to fit her aesthetic a bit more. So it's like a typewriter slat with like an iPad tucked into it or something like that. I don't know, it's a cool design. So that's what she's got there. That's where she'll be like writing all her poems and her short stories and stuff like that. She has a dresser, of course, mirror tucked into the corner. Another painting. We're just throwing a bunch of basically historical looking paintings on the wall because I wanted to, you know, have her have like these old pictures of her family or like maybe heirlooms, stuff like that. And then the last thing we're gonna do is her bathroom. Kept it pretty simple. Didn't go crazy in the bathroom, you guys. Bathrooms are not my favorite to decorate. So we just plop in toilet, sink, and then a big old clawfoot bathtub. I love clawfoot bathtubs. I would love one in real life, but they're crazy expensive, so that's probably never gonna happen. Anyway, so that is the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I've had a busy week, and I will have a busy next week too. I know probably a lot of you guys are very busy too with school and stuff like that, so you're not alone, y'all. I get it. School's hard. But I hope that this video was hopefully a nice break for you guys from all that. And, you know, maybe we can all just live vicariously through this video and imagine we're going to visit our cozy grandma's cottage somewhere in the British countryside, which I have never been. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you guys watching these videos. They're so fun to make. They're so fun to talk to you guys about. So yeah, I really appreciate it. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.